So when Annalisa called me, and we all know Annalisa, when she calls you, you pick up the phone, and talk to me about this summit, I was really excited to be able to participate because I really feel very strongly about the advancement of women and looking at ways to do that. And for example, at NASDAQ where I work, we have created, and I'm happy to say I'm the executive sponsor, a professional women's network called WINS, Women at NASDAQ. But it's very much focused on empowering and encouraging women to build their professional career at NASDAQ. And so if any of you have the opportunity in your organizations to join one of those networks, or if one doesn't exist, to help form one of those networks, I can tell you that they have been very helpful to me in my career, and I would encourage you to do so. So let me tell you a little bit about my background, and then what I thought I would do in talking to Annalisa is really tell you my story and how I got to where I am today, and the lessons I've learned along the way. So as Annalisa said, I am the EVP responsible for global technology solutions at NASDAQ OMX. For those of you who aren't as familiar with us as a company, we really started out I've been at the company 14 years, and when I joined, I was part of a transformation underway. The NASDAQ stock market, we were called the NASDAQ stock market, was really what we're known for around the world. It's the NASDAQ market, it was US equities, and that was really who we were. And so fast forward to today, and a couple of transformations later, we have 26 markets that we run around here in the Atlantic, across Atlantic in Europe. We also have a significant technology business, which is the business I run today, that represents about 27% of the company's overall revenues. And we've taken the technology that we've used in our own markets, and we actually provide that technology to markets around the world in every region. And we have 84 countries that our technology is powering that ecosystem, that economy. And we are very proud of, in Singapore and Hong Kong and emerging economies such as Rwanda and Colombia. I can go on. But the point is, we started as one entity, and we've grown, significantly. And that's all about change and transformation and taking risk and growth, which, is really the analogy of my personal story. So let me start by really how it all began for me. I won't take too long because I've been at it for a while, and I know we've got an aggressive agenda here. But if I start with my personal story, let me first say that I am really passionate about what I do. I love what I do. And what I do is figure out how to take technology and transform things, a la the story that I just described, and really create products and services that can really change people's lives. Well, maybe that's a little dramatic. We are just financial services, but just really, make a difference to our customers. And I couldn't agree more with you, Carolina, when you said, I'm in financial services, it is a services business. So as much as I talk about technology and how I love technology, it's really what technology can do for you that's so compelling to me. So that real passion is something that has served me well. I would also say, hard work, and we all talk about hard work, but I really do mean hard work. So working at what loving what you do, working hard at it, focusing on the results. And you talked about a plot. I really love that analogy. I'm going to use that. But it is knowing at the end of the day, it's not just about being nice, it's not just about being good, it's what are you trying to achieve, and what's the roadmap to getting there, and pursuing it with hard work. I would also say it's about taking risk. I've taken risk along the way in my career. So I started out, I actually ended up in technology accidentally early in my career. So I started out as a business analyst at Merrill Lynch. I'm originally from Toronto. Toronto, Canada. So I was working in Melange, Canada. I had joined as a business analyst, and my background was in economics, and I really wanted to work in the economics division. I really wanted to do that. So I got involved, this was in the 80s, and the technology revolution was well underway. I actually got involved with the technology project, and it was a very successful project. And I was done, finished the project, and I wanted to really go into the economics division. And so what happened? I was given another technology project. And I was told that if I, finished this project successfully, then I would be given the opportunity. So you know the drill, right? Work really hard, so then you get to work even harder the next time around. But I persevered, and I was actually offered the opportunity. And at that point, I really had an aha moment. And I realized that technology really was my calling. And if I didn't get involved in that project in the first place, I would never have really gotten, I don't think I would have gotten to where I am today. And that's no disrespect to the economics profession. I'm very respectful of it, but I do love the fact that technology has really helped propel me to where I am today. So I just want to pause and talk about a couple of the lessons that I've learned along the way, just up to this point. So I would say that this has really served me well throughout my whole career. But, first, as I said before, you have to really love what you do. And that's the first building block to success. Second, you have to be willing to try new things. Some will work and some won't. But without that willingness to try, you don't know, really can't grow. So you got to take risk, you got to try, and that will really help you grow and really develop your career. And sometimes things don't work out, and there may be issues, but that's fine. Learn from that experience and fail forward. Don't fail backward. Take risk, learn, move forward. So, taking on a new role really helps you to grow. And I'm guilty of this. And that's why I really say this every time I talk to women, because they see me as someone who's successful, and how did I get here where I am today? But I have to tell you, along the way, I have been afraid. When I've been given an opportunity, the first thing I've asked myself is, can I do the job? Am I qualified? Well, of course you're qualified. Of course you're capable. So don't second guess yourself. Don't think you have to be the expert before you're qualifying for the next opportunity, for the next promotion. I see that consistently. So I just really like to tell you that I've had those feelings myself, but I haven't let them hold me back in pursuing an opportunity that has come my way. So when at NASDAQ, I was really challenged by our CEO. I was a CIO, and as I've mentioned, we've gone through a transformative journey as a company. And he turned to me one day and he said, look, I really want you to drive innovation in a measurable way. So again, as Carolina said, it's about knowing what the plot is. And how do you measure innovation? What is that innovation doing? It's cool to do cool things, but how does it, what's the ROI? How does it impact your company's bottom line at the end of the day? And so with that in mind, I built a technology organization that was very results-oriented, not just from a bottom line, are we efficient, et cetera, but also really partnering with my business counterparts in how to grow the top line of the business. And it was through that experience and that learning, number one, getting a seat at the strategic table. So going from, technology can be, no matter how advanced your organization is, technology can be not necessarily a back office function, but more of a support function. But we've took our technology organization and really, by aligning with our business partners, really became a key contributor to the top line growth and success of the company. And so that alignment, again, is something that I would share with you. That partnership really helped have people look at technology, the technologists, in a very different light. And today, fast forward, I'm actually running a P&L, right? I'm running a business that's based on the underlying technology, but again, it's all about services, it's all about growing the company, growing the business, and managing a very significant P&L. So if I think about myself, specifically as a leader, and I would say there's two key things that have been the key contributor to my success. One, and Carolina touched upon it, is building great teams. And the second is leading change and innovation. Again, you've heard me say that already. But building great teams has really been my biggest critical success factor as a leader. And I would say that if you look at your organization, if you look at your team, if you look at people that, we like to think about, best athletes. So I agree with the concept of having a plot versus a character development novel, but I also believe, and I'm not saying they're contradictory, in a best athlete model. You can take your best and brightest people and put them against that plot, and you will have a much greater chance of success than necessarily just looking at a person's resume and their specific qualifications. So bear that in mind, especially if you're thinking of branching out from your history. Think of yourself as a best athlete, and how can I take the skills that I've learned along the way and apply it to this new opportunity that is in front of me. I also think that as the world gets increasingly more complex and more global, the collaboration that comes with teamwork becomes more and more critical. And quite frankly, women are much better equipped at collaboration than some of their male counterparts. And so I think women, as we continue to look at the evolving world around us, more opportunities will open up for women leaders. And I've seen that, and I'm certainly an advocate of that within my organization. I think another important factor on career development, and it's also not just career development, but it's good business, and that is really leveraging mentorships, being a mentor, being a mentee, but also sponsorships, people that can actually influence your advancement. And I've had both. I am both to people that work with me in my organization and elsewhere. And so I think, the importance of mentorship and sponsorship in building networking for your own career, but also to find talent, and that march for finding, talent around the world is becoming more and more competitive. So these networks aren't just about you and building your, success individually. It's really about good business and building teams and networking and getting to know people out there that are talented that you can bring onto your team when the need arises. So I also wanted to just really quickly summarize some of the things that I see as commonalities to successful women that I've had the pleasure of working with and knowing along the way. So I would define a successful woman as a woman who has the strength of conviction to take a stand for what she believes in, is ready for risk-taking, is focused on doing the right thing, is not afraid to take a position and state her case, is more concerned about understanding and knowing things, and is an expert in her topic. One last thing I want to leave you with, and that's stress, because as the world gets more complex and our day-to-day pressures, and I know we're going to talk about some interesting things next around digital insights, with everything being 24/7 online all the time, the world, it is becoming more and more stressful. I'm sure you all feel it. And I work in a financial services company. We run stock exchanges around the world, and these stock exchanges are really part of the financial ecosystem. They're part of the mission critical infrastructure. So when things go wrong, it's a doozy, and it's not fun to find yourself on the front page of the New York Times because of some issue that's happened, and I can attest to that. It's not fun, and it's happened to me. So when I think about stress and things to think about in managing stress, you've got to be prepared to take those middle of the night phone calls. You have to learn how to react quickly, calmly, and without emotion in a crisis. And you have to remember that you are no different than a man in the same position. Develop a tough skin and never take things personally. So I would say that none of this is really possible without the willingness to go beyond your comfort zone and really embrace change. Change is here to stay. It's not going away. It's going to grow. So I encourage all of you to have big aspirations. Don't be afraid to think big. Don't be afraid to take a position. And I encourage all of you to aspire to great leadership. Thanks for listening to me today.